Well, 20 years ago, I invited the neighboring colleges to come together to see what could we do better together than separately that would enhance our students' educational experience. And that's still the core question. Today, colleges are looking at how can they work with other colleges to provide exactly what we began 20 years ago. And so we really are ahead of the curve.
I really think that each individual institution is strengthened by being in a neighborhood where there are other institutions. How do we help them build those bridges and strengthen that community of higher education so the students get the best out of it that they can? We've adopted the tagline, 6 colleges, 1 community. It really resonates to who our colleges are and the experience we want to create for students, but also for faculty and staff.
The collaborative relationships have really resulted in our ability to provide better programs at more effective cost. We've been able to add some benefits for life and disability insurance that we didn't have before because of the effective cost, the cost of the premium to them.
We've seen actually a number of successes in holding down costs. The College of the Fenway has been a big part of that. I think primarily it's been areas around programs that we wouldn't be able to do on our own. For example, performing arts has been a big piece of that, as well as the intramural program. We would never have been able to have that kind of scope and depth of impact for our students without College of the Fenway.
The COF Performing Arts has really been a great way for them to engage and also to share their talents while also staying focused on their studies. For example, one of our students is actually minoring in performing arts through the cross-registration program that the COF has.
I've always had a passion for dance, and when I made the decision to move from Puerto Rico to Boston to pursue my undergraduate career, I still wanted to continue dancing as a hobby. I was able to come into the COF Dance Project and I got a community out of it. It was a family away from home. It really helped me flourish in my undergraduate career and not only in dance.
Wheelock's a small school, but I think College of Fenway just makes it feel like it's a larger university. I've made plenty of new friends and really just enjoyed playing sports that I really wouldn't have gotten a chance to play otherwise.
So I took a travel course at Mass Art, so I cross-registered from Simmons at Mass Art. Honestly, it was one of the best decisions I'd ever made. It really forces you to grow and to learn and to adapt, which has been so helpful because it's definitely something that has pushed me to get outside my comfort zone.
The Geo Center has been integral in providing access to resources, helping us to launch new programs, standardized procedures and protocols. Just from like a numbers standpoint, we've seen that over the 3 years, with the help of the Geo Center and my colleagues in the SAC or the Study Abroad Council, participation has almost tripled.
I was involved in COF through the Office of Performing Arts, as well as I interned at the Geo Center. I am about to do some traveling all over the world with a band that I play in, so we're going on tour. That kind of passion for doing that came obviously with music through the Performing Arts Department, but also interning at the Geo Center and wanting to travel and see a little bit of the world.
One of my favorite memories of the COF is a number of years back, we did a spring concert and we included Busta Rhymes, who at the time was a well-known hip-hop artist. And we had to survey the students from all 6 institutions. We then had to book a venue because at the time none of us had a venue that would hold the crowd that we were anticipating. We had to pull together teams that would help with the technology component, load in, load out, working with his writer, meeting with the students, checking on the wristbands, and it really was a team effort. And all 6 schools really came together, both staff-wise and student-wise. And I remember one of my jobs was sitting near the stage, and I remember looking out at the audience and just seeing everybody into the music and having a great time, including the students and staff. And it really was, to me, that embodies what the COF Activities Committee is all about. The COF is mainly about the students, but as a professional, that's a great opportunity for me to interact with my colleagues. And looking back, those are friends now that I can pick up the phone and call at any time.
Through the group training, we've been able to offer a lot more services and programs, both on the professional development side and some on the personal development side as well. The collaborative initiative that I've been most proud of has been the Leadership Management Program.
So what I learned at the COF Leadership Management Program was really exploring who I was and how I worked, and understanding that, of course, others may work differently and I would have to adapt to that. part of being a team leader or being in a team, you have to understand who you are so that you can understand how best to get your team members to perform on a particular project. More than it was a program to help you work better and perform better and become a better team player, it was really an exploration of self.
The benefit of having these cross-campus professional development opportunities, first and foremost, I think for the faculty, is that they get to meet faculty from the other campuses. I think that builds the collegiality and a support system, I think. And that's really what's come out of some of the professional development programs, such as the Teaching and Learning Conference. You know, the group that has continued to meet and has drawn other folks in talking about what is it like talking about race in the classroom if you're white, with white students. And so to have that kind of cross-institutional support where no one has the right answers but you're trying to figure it out together, I think is the most beneficial aspect.
One of the most gratifying aspects of this work, I think, is watching the partnerships that develop amongst people between the institutions. And we often call those communities of practice in some ways. And I think those are particularly important for small colleges when you have 1- and 2-person departments.
What's really exciting to me is to be able to meet with my colleague presidents and recognize that the leadership that we're providing is done in our own institutions, that's true, but we also have the benefit of working together on so many initiatives that benefit our own students and students from all the other colleges of the Fenway.
Being a college president is often done in isolation. You're the only president on your campus. And typically once or twice a year you might attend a conference and you will be with presidential colleagues. Here, they're your neighbors. And particularly, you know, some of these leaders have been at it for a long time. They're very experienced. And for a new president like me, that's a real luxury.
Being a scientist at a small institution like Wheelock, there aren't many faculty to interact with, and so having that opportunity to be able to network with other scientists throughout the colleges of Fenway has been very instrumental in my development as an educator. Students who might be looking at the colleges of the Fenway with an interest in sustainability need to come to the colleges of the Fenway. It's really a great opportunity for students who want that small environment but who want to be able to take advantage of these larger set of resources.
So the College of Fenway, we collaborate on IT basically with the College of the Fenway Area Network. And we're on our second version of that network. And I've had the opportunity to work with that group of colleagues across all the COF almost since its beginning. And we've used that network to kind of collaborate together.
And we've seen real upsurges in our ability to share costs amongst the other members. We've been able to partner with Mass Pharmacy and Wentworth specifically over the last 10 years. In ways that we wouldn't have been able to because we're at the table, we're talking to each other. I think our biggest challenge is the rising cost of higher education during this modern era, this post-2008 era of higher ed. Anything we can do about service delivery, about creating value for them, impacting them as they move forward in their educational endeavors at our different institutions. That's what College of the Fenway needs to continue to do and has done very well for 20 years.
I think the new COF mobile app is going to be very effective for students because in changing with the times, students are looking at their phones all the time and going to apps. And this will allow them the opportunity to see what's available for cross-registration, what's happening on other campuses as far as activities and events. It'll be very handy and it's something that they'll carry with them almost the entire day.
The colleges of Fenway are different today in many ways from where we were 20 years ago. Our enrollments have grown, our facilities have grown, we've shared them, we've worked together in all of this development. As we look to the future, I can only see new synergies that will bring us more together and help us create things we haven't yet dreamt of.